Hello, Global Voices. I am Jer, the tech lead for GV. I'm responsible for our cursed WordPress system. And in this video, I want to go over a really tricky issue involving the text editor and visual editor, the way they behave, and the way the cursor moves as you do things like paste and hit enter. Now, this is a really subtle one. A lot of you have probably been annoyed by this, but you just live with it because it's one of those things that's just part of WordPress. And what this video is not going to be me fixing it, it's going to be me explaining how I understand this problem, which I took some time to really pin it down exactly what it is, so that maybe understanding it will help you to live with it better, and to work around it and to have it waste less of your time. It's not something we can fix because it's part of WordPress. It's part of all the JavaScript that runs inside WordPress. And importantly, WordPress has actually changed the way it works. There's a new editor that completely replaces all of this, called the Gutenberg or block editor. You may have heard of it, and it's going to completely change how we work. We're going to be switching to it in the next couple years, for sure. And it's going to make this problem go away. And that's why WordPress is never going to fix this problem, because they already have in a completely different editor that works in a completely different way. And oh man, you all are going to have some stress learning that. But for now, we can stick with the one you're comfortable with, and we'll get even more comfortable with it by understanding it. So what is the problem? You've seen it before. We're going to scroll here, and I'm going to show you, and hopefully I'm going to be able to predict when it'll happen. I'm going to click at the end of this paragraph, down near the bottom. I'm going to hit enter. And what happened? We just jumped. Where is our cursor? Okay, I'm going to hit the keyboard. Up and down. Wait, it's not. Oh, there it is. Why did it take? I had to push like 5 times to find it, right? And all I did was hit enter after the end of that paragraph. Can I do it again? No, not now. But what if it goes back near the bottom? I think it has to do with being near the bottom. No. So it's not reliable. But you see, I knew when it would happen, and I made it happen. And so this video is about how to deal with it when that does happen, and how it relates to pasting, because it's associated with pasting. People were saying the problem was pasting, and the problem wasn't pasting. Interestingly, the problem was hitting enter, but what we do is we paste and then we hit enter. So here I'm taking a new paragraph, this paragraph, right? I'm going to go to the end of it and I'm going to hit enter. It happened again. Okay, now the first thing I want you to know is what happened. I don't know why this happens, but the cursor is up above what we can see, okay? And I know actually it's up here. So if I come and just put my mouse over and scroll a little bit until it starts scrolling, I'm going to find the cursor. There it was, just a few lines above. And the interesting thing is that's where it always is. It's always just a little bit above. I don't know why. It's some kind of horrible JavaScript thing. This doesn't happen in the visual editor. And so I think that's part of it. This only affects the text editor, and so most people use the visual editor these days because it's better. And I recommend you mostly use the visual editor almost all of the time. But when you do need to use the text editor, understanding this will help. So if we come back and try another example, I'm going to put it at the end of this paragraph near the bottom. Enter. It happened again. And we'll just scroll up a little bit. Scroll up a little bit, nice and easy, and we'll find our cursor, okay? So rather than doing, because you know what I do, and this has happened to me a million times. For those of you who feel crazy, I'm a WordPress expert with 15, 16 years experience, and I still went crazy and I didn't know what to do. I hit enter. Where is it? Why can't I find it? And nothing is happening. And then I use the arrow keys, and I'm like, oh wait, and I did all this. I created this giant empty space. It's chaotic. Whereas now, after trying to debug this, I know that if it has to do with somehow moving around and then it being near the bottom, and I'm going to hit enter. Oh, it doesn't happen. See, anyway, when it does happen, we're showing you one more time. Enter. No, didn't happen that time. Oh, it's chaotic. It's intense and it's chaotic. Not happening there. Yeah, near the top of the post, it doesn't seem to happen. Maybe it's all out of it for today. Okay, but you saw what I was talking about. It's always just a little bit above. So you just scroll up. For some reason, it just puts you just out of reach, which is the opposite of what you want, of course. What you would expect is that it would be at the bottom. So if I take, I have just some text here that I can paste in. So if we go on the visual editor, we can see that we can't make it happen. I've tried it always, when you hit enter, the cursor always shows highlighted in this like place near the bottom, right? If I come and I put this near the bottom, enter, okay. And if I paste in the visual editor, okay, so that's not a great thing to paste. But if I paste here, I'll just take these two, I'll come up here, I'll close this, and I'll hit enter, and I'll paste, right? The thing about this in the visual editor is, wait, the paste put it so I can't see the ending, right? It's down below because I pasted enough that it went below what I can see. But if I hit enter, it takes me there, okay? And that's what you're hoping, that's what I hoped the text editor would do. But if I take the text editor, and here I have something with start and ending so that it's easier to see. So I'm going to go to the text editor, and if I hit enter, there we go. It happened because I hit enter, not because I pasted. But I could scroll up. I could scroll up, and I can find my cursor right there waiting for me just above what I could see. So that's the real tip of this video, is scroll up. Okay, but let's say I paste. Okay, it actually did what I wanted and jumped so that the ending is right at the bottom. And in my experience from testing this just like today, trying to figure out this problem, no matter what I do, if I hit enter and it doesn't jump around and I paste, it'll usually take me to the ending. And then if I hit enter, it may or may not cause that other problem, you know? So the thing to do is be careful about hitting enter in a weird way. Try to hit enter in the middle. Try to center the text. If you put the text that you're looking at near the top and hit enter, I feel like it's a lot less likely. No, there we go. So yeah, no, you just got to deal with it. When you hit enter and it does that, you just scroll up a little bit and go find your cursor. But yeah, so that's the thing. That's the thing is, when we do paste in the text editor, we feel like, okay, I pasted. Now I want to make sure I'm looking at the ending, and I'll naturally hit enter. And also we just hit enter because what we want is to start writing the next paragraph, you know, to do what we do our work, which involves just hitting enter after we paste. But it often causes the bug, which can happen anywhere, which can also happen when you're just reorganizing the spacing because you want more space or you want less space or whatever. Great. So that is the tip. It's always just a little bit above you. It happens when you click enter. It happens somewhat randomly in a weird way that you just can't necessarily predict, but just be ready for. You hit enter, that's why it happens. Scroll up to find the cursor, and remember, the visual editor is just completely separate. It doesn't have this bug, but it has other curious behaviors where if you post things, if you paste things, weird things can happen where the right? Sometimes it does this where I paste it and it's not on the cursor. I can't see the cursor. But if I hit enter on the visual editor, it's perfect. It's always going to show me the cursor again. So that is a good thing to do, and that's perfectly fine. So remember that difference. That whereas sometimes on other times I find on the visual editor it will correctly jump so that the cursor, which is now here, would have been in view after I paste. And I don't know why it sometimes jumps correctly and sometimes doesn't, but the hitting enter works here in the text. It does not work always to get you to the place, and in fact it does the opposite, where you get, where the hell am I? But the answer is simple. You're just below the cursor. All right, so if I'm repeating myself so much, thank you for watching this. I hope this is helpful. It was the translators who thought it was particularly them, but I suspect it's anyone using the text editor. It is just that the translators tend to use the text editor more often than the visual editor because they're editing links and formatting and things like that. Anyway, I am Jer, the tech lead of Global Voices. I hope this was helpful. I love you. Bye-bye.